And when I first of all, when I saw the banner, I wasn't, I did not think that would
I
actually
thought a
be
variety of things that they were doing were against the election handbook.
after I,
I'm the only candidate that's going to make a real difference here. I mean, every year we have, presidents who do decent jobs, but really you could just switch one for another.
I feel that my candidacy has both vision, the vision to lead, and also the experience to lead.
Well, students should vote for me as AS president because I have relevant experience in the corporation. I was a commissioner and now I'm a senator.
One of the reasons is I've had extensive leadership ability. After graduating high school in '94, I joined the Marine Corps, served for 8 years, came back to Long Beach, and I've been serving the community ever since.
We want to create a textbook exchange website where students will be able to buy and sell textbooks to students on this campus.
Some things will have to be cut. What things are you going to look at to cut specifically?
Well, something that I'm going to look at is how we spend money with our scholarships. If we decide to cut that, it will only be because not enough students are benefiting from those programs. And so what's happened in the past is a lot of times the people who get the scholarships that ASI is handing out are people who are in ASI.
Double-sided printing in the library and the Horn Center is one. It'll save students money and time when they're printing out lecture notes. Also making the U-Pass permanent so students can, stop wondering about how they're going to get to school or fill up their gas tanks, and also improving academic advising.
On campus, all we've seen is, students come together in rallies and stuff like that. And it's great and everything. It shows people that we're serious. But if we can build a coalition with the community, I believe that it'll show an even stronger impact, especially with politicians.
I did feel that this was not the right time for a fee increase to students, because students, right now are in financial problems. The whole country is. I wasn't adamantly against it or for it, and so I decided that this was not the time for me to really, become part of a group to lobby against the BLR.
We did not feel that would have been our right, since we did have, we would have benefited from it, to say, yeah, ASI is fully behind this. Furthermore, it's not completely my job alone to be the advocate for the students. My job was to make sure, how I saw it, was to make sure that the election process was available, it was open to the students, that they knew what was going on as far as that there was a referendum coming forth.
Looking at the referendum and what it would do for athletes, I was in support of it, enhancing the programs and services of the athletic department. However, I'm not too sure if it would have did well for students in increasing fees. So I supported it in some aspects, but in others I did not. I can't sit here as the senator for the College of Liberal Arts and say that I stand one way when a variety of my constituents stand another.
I was against Beach Legacy, not because I didn't want to fund the athletic department. It's because I didn't know where the money was going to.
What would you say to those ASI senators and other members who say that because they represent a wide range of students who were for it and against it, that it wasn't good for them to come out? What would you say to that thinking?
It's politics.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be either unhappy with you for your decisions, and some people are going to be happy with you. It comes with the territory, but you just have to do what's right.
As a candidate, I cannot have my table with some laptops out there saying, okay, come here and vote here, because obviously that's, I think that's biased. I think in future referendums they need to follow the standard that ASI elections follow.
Honestly, I was not particularly happy when I found out about that. And when I did find out about that, that was after anything could be done at that point. ASI, we're not allowed to put up laptops or anything saying that we can vote here. I would like to make sure that any election regarding the university is the same way.
I feel like there was no enforcement this time. There were no true guidelines. There was no handbook. So it was basically free reign for them to do what they wanted to do.
As president, would you try to make sure that those unofficial polling places like that wouldn't happen again in the referendum election?
I would definitely first institute measures and a handbook and guidelines behind how referendums should work.
To have an unofficial polling place where you're going to have people look over your shoulder or just nearby you is, it's going to make a student uncomfortable, and it's just not ethical. If we're going to hold elections on campus, it should be under one governing body. So if we're going to do referendum, it should be under ASI, and ASI should be in charge of it.
I felt that could have been more neutral. I don't think it was out there as far as saying vote for the Beach Legacy referendum. But something I think a little bit more toned down definitely would have been appropriate, in my opinion.
So you don't believe it was impartial? You believe it was partial?
I believe that there was some issue with it, but
do you believe whether it was partial or impartial?
I felt that there was some partiality in it.
Okay.
But even then, I'm not the only member on that committee.